Next up, we have the Red River Shootout. We have 21st ranked Texas, 4-1 on the year, taking on 6th ranked Oklahoma, who is 5-0. Oklahoma is a 3.5 point favorite in this game. This game is going to be played on ABC with a 3 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. Oklahoma is surviving this year. Okay, right now, you ever play a boxing game or a UFC game, and when you almost knock somebody out, they get all groggy, and you're looking for the final knockout blow, and then somehow they're just able to bounce back. That's what I see out of Oklahoma right now. I see Oklahoma groggy. They're on the ropes. It's just a matter of time before the right team comes in and delivers that devastating right hook to put them out of their misery. The question is Texas that team who's going to deliver that final right hook and put Oklahoma down for the count? Now, Bajan Robinson, man, has been playing at a Heisman caliber level. Last week against TCU, 35 carries for 216 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Texas offense runs through Robinson. Now, the thing is that Oklahoma's run defense has been really solid this year, okay? So Oklahoma's run defense is allowing 90.8 rushing yards per game, which is currently 14th in the nation at 2.9 yards per carry. So you're looking at Texas. I think that Oklahoma probably is going to go all in on trying to stop Robinson and then force Texas to have to beat them through the air. Now, I like Thompson. Okay, I definitely feel like he's the best quarterback on Texas roster, and he gives them the best chance to win, which is pretty much the reason why he's the starting quarterback right now. But the wide receivers for Texas haven't really been that consistent. There's been some drops, there's been some miscommunication there. Like, I really feel like wide receiver hasn't really been a strength of this Texas team. But you are facing a Oklahoma secondary that isn't the greatest per se, so maybe the wide receivers could have some success. But really, if you're going to win this game, I think it's going to come down to Thompson's ability to run the football with his legs. Okay, I really feel like if Robinson gets shut down early, you're going to have to be able to get some design quarterback runs and make sure that Thompson can use his legs, because you still have to be effective in this game running the football to keep this Oklahoma defense off balance. Now, Spencer Rattler hasn't really played up to the level of hype that a lot of people were giving him before the season began. Everybody was already ready to crown him the Heisman Trophy winner. Oklahoma had all these lofty preseason expectations, and so far this team hasn't really played like it, okay? Like, the defense has bailed them out in a couple of games, especially against West Virginia, but the offense isn't really clicking. And I really feel like Lincoln Riley hasn't really done the best with utilizing the players that he has on this offense. I don't really feel like his play calling has been all that great. I really feel like he could be doing some different things. It's like Oklahoma doesn't really have an identity on offense. And I know it's weird for me to call out Lincoln Riley's play calling, because Lincoln Riley is essentially the best offensive-minded coach in college football. But I really feel like the play calling from him this year hasn't really been all that great. The run game hasn't really been all that great. You're 84th in the country in rushing yards per game. And the offensive line simply hasn't been there. When it comes to pass protection, when it comes to run blocking, you're not setting up holes. So really, you look at a Texas team that their defense has some holes in the secondary, and I don't really think they have all that great of a pass rush. So I definitely feel like Oklahoma's offense should click in this game. And if this offense struggles in this game, then I would be severely surprised. But when you look at Spencer Rattler, I think the problem with Spencer Rattler isn't the talent. I think the problem with Spencer Rattler is the problem that a lot of these new up-and-coming quarterbacks have, is that they have that Patrick Mahomes syndrome. You have too many quarterbacks now who try to play backyard football instead of just trying to take what the defense gives them. And I feel like oftentimes that's what gets Spencer Rattler in trouble, is that sometimes he tries to do too much. He tries to be the hero. He tries to be the playmaker, and that ends up costing Oklahoma. So I want to see Spencer Rattler take care of the football in this game, No turnovers. I want to see him play a clean game. And if he's able to do that, then I think Oklahoma definitely has a good chance to win, because I feel like Texas defense is not that great when you look at the back end. When you look at corner, there's some issues there. So I really feel like that this is a game that could be the turning point for OU's offense. That if this was a game that if Oklahoma fans had circled on the calendar where everything could finally click on offense, I really feel like this could be that game. Now, for Texas, man, like, I really question just how productive this offense can be if the rain game isn't going. And Oklahoma's run defense is pretty legit because they shut down Deuce Vaughn, and Deuce Vaughn is probably one of the more underrated running backs in America. They weren't really able to get much going, Kansas State. So I definitely feel like Oklahoma's run defense is going to show up in this game. A lot of people are going to be like, well, Bajan Robinson is still going to get his. He's still going to have a couple of big plays here and there. But overall, if you're Oklahoma, you're okay with letting Robinson break off a 30-yard run, here and there. But if you're able to bottle him up and he's only able to have two big runs in this game overall, then I think you should be feeling pretty proud of yourself if you're their defensive coordinator. Now, I definitely feel like Oklahoma's going to win this game. I'm going to pick them to win, even though I still feel like it's only a matter of time before a team ends up delivering a knockout blow. The thing is, I really don't feel like it's Texas. Even though Texas is playing some of their best football right now, I still feel like they still have too many flaws on defense for me to pick them to win this game. Like, if Oklahoma's going to lose, I think it's going to be to a team that's really good defensively and is really sound defensively. And when I look at Texas, like, yeah, they're going to be able to put up points, but I don't know if their defense is going to be able to show up and get key stops. And you can say the same thing about Oklahoma. You're probably going to be like, well, JT, Oklahoma's defense isn't great. And I understand that, but Oklahoma's defense is great when it comes to stopping the run, at least. So at least they can force Texas to be one-dimensional if it comes down to it. So you also look at, how the wide receivers for Texas have kind of played this year. They've been kind of inconsistent. They've been kind of up and down. So I'm going to take Oklahoma to win. I think this game is going to be going Oklahoma's way. I'll say 45 to 28. Well, 45 to 30 is going to be my final score prediction in this game. Texas is going to put up some points. They're going to put up a lot of points. They're going to put up a lot of yards. But I really feel like this is a game that's going to be the turning point of Oklahoma's season, that we finally get to see that Oklahoma offense get things going offensively, because Texas has a lot of holes. And Texas may be the worst defensive team that Oklahoma has faced so far this year, outside of Tulane and whoever else they played who was considered a cupcake school. Not saying Tulane's a cupcake school, but I really feel like over the last couple of weeks, Oklahoma has faced some pretty good defensive teams. I think Texas may be the worst defense they faced so far, and I don't care about the stats. I don't care about statistics. Like, from what I've watched on film so far, or what I watching the Big 12 teams play, like, I really feel like Texas defense hasn't really been up to par. So give me Oklahoma. Let me know who you guys have winning down in the comment section down below.